What's the value of the resource? 60 billion, 100 billion, what's under that land? And is the trade that we're talking about, is that a fair return for the taxpayer? I understand the value is proprietary to the company, but I think some due diligence on the part of this committee to understand value and what we're giving back to the taxpayer is an important issue. We are not Walmart greeters for Rio Tinto or its subsidiaries. We are not facilitators or brokers. This cozy deal before us today in the form of HR 687 is the same deal we saw before and before and before. We're doing it again, and the opposition to the points remain the same. I made a request to Chairman Hastings and Ranking Member Markey to delay this hearing until there is meaningful government-to-government consultation between the federal government and tribal nations affected by this legislation. I think all the legitimate opposition and concerns that we have is always met with you're anti-jobs, you're anti-mining. Well, I think there's a rush for this legislation because there is an erosion of local support. There is unanimous opposition among Native Americans, not only in Arizona, but across the country. And there is a track record for Rio Tinto with regards to labor violations, environmental violations, and failure to do reclamation. So why the rush?
We strongly oppose this bill and the land transfer it mandates for 3 reasons. 1, it will destroy our sacred areas. 2, it will deplete and contaminate the region's already overdrawn water supply. And 3, it is a bad deal for the American taxpayer.
We strongly oppose this land exchange moving forward without first performing the NEPA studies and informing our town about the negative impacts of this project. Section 4H of the bill provides that if this bill is passed, the lands will be treated as they are in private ownership. As a result, no tribal consultation or no NEPA studies will be required.
The Department of Agriculture doesn't believe that meaningful consultation can occur without the NEPA process preceding the land exchange decision.
When we look at it in total, the sacredness of the whole area in total. And so when underground is going to be disturbed, when there's going to be a big hole left under there, and we don't know what the potential impact is to the water resources, but we know from history that when there's a big hole and it rains and it snows and water comes running down, where's that water going to go? It's going to go to that big hole. And so we don't know what's the impacts are, and that's how we believe that what's going to happen underground is going to affect whatever is going to be on the surface.
I have to let you know up front that in the past, this council has supported this project. However, for the following reasons, the town of Superior now opposes the Southeast Arizona Land Exchange. Information has been difficult to come by, but with the little information that we have learned the true impacts of this project. This has forced me and our town council to rethink our position. Our opposition to this project is based on 3 major points. Number 1, the lack of a NEPA study to show what impacts we will be facing. Number 2, the impact of our water and or hydrology studies. And 3, the impacts of block cave mining on our environment and the lack of jobs that it will produce.
This legislation promotes economic development in an environmentally responsible way. As you know and should know, many of Arizona's environmental compliance laws are even stronger than those of the federal laws.
There's been discussion saying that, this bill does not weaken the NEPA process, and that there's some people are convinced that the state of Arizona permitting process for mines on private lands is the same as NEPA, even if we sidestep NEPA on this one. That's absolutely not true. The state's far weaker. The public comment period is short. Before submit, there is no quick turnaround in the submission of critical document. There is no pre-scoping, and the process does not require bonding to guarantee a cleanup and reclamation after the fact. And that's just the environmental side of it. On the consultation, that's a whole other story that doesn't exist. And so there is no substitute for One, skipping over NEPA and doing it after the fact where there's no enforceability, and saying, well, the state can take care of it. The state can't take care of it, the state won't take care of it. This NEPA process guarantees not only the people of Superior and the surrounding community that the viability and the intended or unintended consequences of this mine, everybody's gonna know up front.